do this, Ken.
He says. Welcome to Good Morning Football. Was that on the air?
No, it wasn't.
Nate, you can't scare me like that. Welcome to GMFB Live in New York City. CC Sabathia and New York City go hand in hand. Like
That's right.
And jelly. We're all here at the breakfast table. Nate Burleson, Peter Schrager, Mr. Sabathia. What does CC stand for?
Karsten Charles.
Karsten Charles Sabathia is here, and we've got a big show. I'm a little emotional this morning about some of it.
We are. We're going to talk about the player that is now no longer going to be in a uniform. We've known him for 16 seasons, but we're also going to be bringing the heat this morning with this guy, Cam Newton. Could he fly in another city? Could we see Superman maybe suiting up somewhere else? We're going to do a segment we call Shake It Off, where we pitch our craziest off-season storylines. And we've got a pitcher here who will tell us whether it's acceptable or not acceptable. We're also going to be revealing a couple more combine prospects that we're going to see in the NFL next year. We're going to get to know these guys. That is C.D. Lamb.
Big guy.
Big guy, and if you like DeAndre Hopkins, you might like what to see from this guy. Oh, yeah. That's the talk we're getting from scouts right now, and he's going to be at the Combine. We're going to get into the tape also with C.D. Lamb and maybe a defensive back out of LSU who wears the same number that a certain guy who just won the Super Bowl wore when he was in college. DBU, we've got the next one. And lastly, we had all these plays from this season, some plays that made up the NFL campaign. Do you guys remember the season well enough, though, to tell us what exactly happened next if we give you the play beforehand? Oh, we'll get into it in a segment we call What Happens Next, putting your football knowledge and memory to the test.
If you have any questions for CC Sabathia, tweet us at GMFB. It is time for the lead block.
Lead block!
Lead block.
All right, we have to do this, guys. We start with the Chargers. They announced yesterday that they have agreed mutually to part ways with their veteran quarterback. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do.
I got you, Kate.
Philip Rivers, a 16-year veteran with a 224 consecutive game streak. The Chargers, oh, this is cute. They tweeted out, "Thank you, Philip," along with a statement from Rivers, quote, "In anything you do, it's the people you do it with that make it special. There are so many relationships and memories, coaches, support staff, and teammates that will last forever, and for that, I am so thankful." Look at this guy's career. 16 years as a Charger. He ranks in the top 10 in NFL in completions, in passing yards, in passing touchdowns. Like I said, 224 consecutive starts since being named the starter back in 2006. Initial reaction when you heard Philip Rivers would not return to the Chargers in 2020?
I wasn't surprised. I wasn't shocked. You know, I kind of get it. When you have a long career like Philip Rivers did, he's well respected. He put up numbers. We'll talk about it throughout the summer and closer to retirement. I don't think he's going to retire right now. Just how great he is. And I do feel like he's a Hall of Famer. First ballot? Not sure. But when you think about the teams that are getting younger and investing in young quarterbacks and then using the money to invest around that QB, I understand why they're taking this situation the way they have. You know, when it comes to Philip Rivers in big games, I'm not sure he gets the clutch title. I'm not sure he has the label of when he's in the playoffs, he plays as good as any other quarterback. Even when you look at his breakdown up against Tom Brady, he's 0-8 versus Tom Brady in big moments, head-to-head matchups. So as an organization, you're sitting back thinking, where do we want to go, and is Philip Rivers going to take us there? Here's the thing. A couple of years ago, a few seasons ago, they were going to draft Deshaun Watson. And Philip Rivers basically said, listen, if you draft him, I'm gone. Trade me, waive me, let me go. I'm not going to be around to mold another guy that's going to take my spot. So I feel like they were in a situation where they had to make a decision, and this is it.
We started hearing that this was a possibility in the middle of the season when it wasn't going that way for the Chargers. So my initial reaction was, okay, I'm glad they ripped the Band-Aid off now and not drag this out all into March. So now both sides can kind of move on with this. We'll talk about Rivers' legacy for sure. But to me, this is one of those deals where both sides get to start anew. And my initial reaction was not shock. It was not surprise. Even Super Bowl week, you heard that this thing was imminent. So this is a good starting point for the Chargers to turn the page and kind of get going. And it's a great opportunity for Philip Rivers to maybe write a final chapter in his career.
And of course, he moved his family to Florida, so that was a huge, like, oh, okay, this is really happening.
Yeah, once I saw he moved his family to Florida, I kind of figured he wasn't coming back and, you know, trying to move on to the next situation. I don't think he would retire. Obviously, I watched him kill my Raiders for so many years, him and Tomlinson. But, yeah, I mean, To me, it's just sad that he don't get the send-off from San Diego. The bulk of his career was in San Diego, and, you know, for him, I know that place is special, so, you know, that LA crowd really didn't really vibe together with the Chargers, so it's just weird, it's just sad and weird that he didn't get the send-off right from the San Diego base, where, you know, they love him down there.
That was my initial reaction, too. Did you think he was going to retire, or he might?
No.
You didn't. I thought maybe he would. I didn't know what the future would hold. I figured, and we all did, it would be in Arrowhead, his last game as an LA Charger, as a Charger at all. I didn't like his send-off, right? I didn't like that the Chiefs booed him, that they played his interceptions on the big screen. I was like, no, treat him better. Like, he could be walking away from the game, and then you see
the Chiefs
what happened.
treat him better?
No, not just the Chiefs and the Chargers. Like, cute tweet, cute whatever. I just wanted something bigger for somebody who gave you 16 years at 100 every time he hit the field, and he never missed a game. So I wanted something, just personally, I think I was in my feelings a little bit. I wanted something a little bigger. And then now that I realize he's not retiring, I'm looking at it as a next chapter. Fine. Chargers, great, 16 years. Thanks for the send-off. Thanks for the tweets. Thanks for the love. Chiefs, love you. Like, it was always a rivalry. It was great. And now it is move on to what hopefully is a better chapter for him. I don't think he's done. I think he's got more to live. And I was talking to Cece before the show. What happened to you when he's in a weird spot, right? Rivers, a veteran, 16 years in the league, and he gets told, like, you're pretty much not wanted. We're going to move on here for the first time in his NFL career. Something that you felt early on when you were with the Cleveland Indians. You win the Cy Young, and then you get a call. What happens?
Yeah, I mean, the next year, you know, I'm landing on the plane coming from Minnesota, and you get traded, you know. So, but I was I was younger, and I felt like I still had a chance to prove some things in my career. You know, 16 years in, getting told that for the first time is rough.
But you also won a ring after that with the Yankees. Before that, you went to Milwaukee. We looked up your numbers, 11-2, a 1.65 ERA. You got in your feelings a little bit, I think. And you win off. You got the Brewers into the playoffs for the first time in 26 years. I hope that that's the story for Philip Rivers.
Yeah, for sure. And he's got a lot of football left, like we've been saying. So, you know, hopefully he can lead a team and you know, turn that playoff record around and you know, win the Super Bowl.
Now, I don't want to, you know, jump in the middle of this love fest. So
we're going to give him a love fest.
You're saying a lot of football left, and you're saying next chapter.
I am.
This is the old man. Okay, let's just call it what it is. Listen, Philip Rivers, you guys know how I feel about him. I love me some Philip.
Do you?
But at this, yeah, I've said it time and time again. He's a Hall of Famer. When people want to argue with me, I say, look at his numbers, respect him for what he has done. But when it comes to an older quarterback who has never been mobile in his career, who at times his arm didn't look like it was up for the task each game, do we honestly think that he's going to go somewhere in a new system with a team that needs a quarterback? And usually those teams don't have the right pieces that a quarterback needs to take his team into the playoffs. So is Philip Rivers going to go to a team where he's going to win 8 or 9 games and sit outside the playoffs? Like, how many teams are good enough to where Philip Rivers can come in right now and go to the playoffs, Trace? That's the question.
I mean, the obvious ones we'll talk about throughout the show, but like you look at Tampa, and Bruce Arians loves his veteran quarterback. Did this with Carson Palmer. He's got 2,000-yard receivers under the age of 26. Is that an upgrade from Jameis Winston, though? It's a legitimate question. I don't know if it is. Nate, to your point, Philip Rivers was not good last year. Like, he was just not good. So this feeling that, oh, he's this great quarterback who's going to save the day, I'm not sure teams look at him the same way we as fans might. The way I look at Philip Rivers, it's just a warrior. Like, I covered the playoffs throughout the 2000s, and I remember being at a game in Indianapolis in 2007 where he tears his ACL in the playoffs, and they go to Billy Volek, and there's Rivers on the sideline running his mouth as he's got a torn ACL on the sideline, talking crap to fans in Indianapolis, because that was Rivers. He had all that gusto. The following week, on a torn ACL, goes up to Foxborough and plays in an AFC Championship game.
Crazy.
Yeah.
This is one of the toughest, most fiery competitors you will ever see in the NFL, and I think the respect level is there. Is he the player he was, though? I mean, last year he was really good. He was in the MVP conversation. This past season, though, he was not. I don't know if a team is investing all that money and their future into Philip Rivers. It has to be a very specific situation.
I don't know if the Chargers really invested in things around Philip Rivers to make him the best that he can be. Who is the MLB comparison? Who is the Philip Rivers of Major League
Like, you
Baseball?
mean a guy that, like, talks trash?
Just the guy. I mean, you're an AFC West guy.
It's me.
You think it's you?
I think so. I mean, if you watch...
You used to talk that talk.
I did a little bit. I mean, and it's just all in fun. And, you know, you listen to him on the sideline and, you know, you listen to NFL films and hear him talk, and it's a lot of fun. So that's, you know.
Cece. You have a World Series ring.
That's facts.
I'm talking about his demeanor on the field.
I know.
The way he goes about things. And, being a warrior, going out there every time and, leaving everything out there. I mean, I feel like that's how
Game 7, though, I'm going to CeCe Sabathia, and I want that ball in his hands. Phillip Rivers has not had that big game opportunity, and nor has he had that big game win.
He hasn't had that opportunity either yet. Yeah. So, we'll see.
Yeah.
So as a Raiders fan, you hear Phillip Rivers, you hear he's leaving. What's the thing that's going to stick around to you?
Just watching him, in the Coliseum, just literally kill us. Like, it was, every time I went to the game playing the Chargers, I'm just like, I know what this is going to be. I'm just coming here for the tailgate to have fun, and I know they're going to light us up.
Just here for the tailgate.
Can we take a break, Debbie Downer over here?
Hey,
I had
Phillip,
I had a whole Love Fest plan. I had mic'd up sound. I had nice little things, people talking
we got a
about
whole
him.
off season to get to that.
Woo! More Good Morning Football on the way. Could this offseason decide whether the Patriots dynasty continues? We're talking Phillip Rivers. Let's talk about Tom Brady. He's in a bit of the same situation. Getting ready to test the waters? It's weird. And believe it or not, let's talk about the young cats.